And so if we're picking Tennessee to beat Alabama, I think it's fair to ask the next question, how do they get to the college football playoff? Because if you're telling me we're going toe-to-toe with Bama, well, Bama pretty much vacations at the college football playoff every single year. Like, that's on their calendar. What about us? What about us? I will put a pin in this and just say Tennessee's win total in Vegas was like 7.5, 8.5 wins. I think it actually was 7.5 wins. This is amazing that we're talking about this. This is incredible. If you had asked Tennessee fans what they were hoping for at the beginning of the year, I guarantee it would have been, if we could find a way to be in that top 2 conversation in the SEC East and find a way to get to Atlanta, that'd be awesome. Talk about the playoff, like Jim Moore at playoffs. I just think that's worth noting. We love college football for that reason. So how would it happen? Let's lay out the map for the Volunteers to find their way to the college football playoff. Got to start with the gauntlet, and it is the gauntlet. Let's read it off. Got Alabama third Saturday in October, obviously, this coming Saturday. Then you get UT Martin, sort of a get-right game. Hopefully you get Cedric Tillman healthy for the week following, because you got Kentucky. That is a hinge point in every sense of the word, a hinge game, if you will. That is crucial. You cannot afford to look past Kentucky, because that's a crucial look-ahead spot. They go to Georgia the next week, but if they don't win that game against Kentucky, this is all for naught, in my humble opinion. All right? Like we talked about, got Kentucky, go to Georgia, play Missouri at home, go to South Carolina, finish the year at Vandy. So there is 3 scenarios in my mind to how you would be able to get there. Option number 1, you run the table. Mic drop, you run the table. You go undefeated. You win all of these games. It's crazy to say. It feels crazy to say, but it's not impossible. Tennessee runs the table undefeated. They get the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. That's option 1. It's probably plan A. Control what you can control. The next 2 options, in my humble opinion, are a little bit more likely, but let's talk it out. Option 2 is you're a 1-loss SEC champion. Whether you drop one to Georgia, whether you drop one to Bama, if you're a 1-loss SEC champ, you're not getting locked out of the playoff. Just the way that it works. It just means more, right? Like, that's the whole thing over there. It just means more. You get in. Option 3, you're a 1-loss SEC team, but you beat Bama. You lost to Georgia. So assuming Georgia and Bama meet up in the SEC title game, you hit your knees, we're in the Bible Belt, and you put both hands on the bed at night and you pray for chaos. You just get in your prayer closet and you pray for chaos. So here's the scenarios. We're going to go ahead and assume, like I mentioned, that Bama and Georgia, outside of Tennessee, went out. So let's ask this question. If you're a Tennessee fan, we posed it on Twitter as well, which game would you want to win if you could only win one, Georgia or Bama? I think the answer is you would rather beat Georgia, for reasons about to get to here. Because let's say that you beat Alabama and then you go out and beat Georgia. Well, then you're playing for the SEC title game and you get to play Bama a second time. Flip that on its head. Let's say you lose the third Saturday in October, you lose to Bama, but then beat Georgia. Well, here's the deal. You then play Bama, likely, a second time in the SEC title game, like we already talked about, but this time you're the hunter. I think having beat Bama and then having to play them again in the SEC title game, have a big old target on your back. I don't think you want to have that kind of scenario. So we're on board there. Lose to Bama, beat Georgia, SEC title game, you're the hunter. If you lose to Georgia but beat Bama, you're back there. You got to beat Bama twice. That's a hard thing to do for either programs, Bama or Tennessee. To beat either program twice in a row would be a difficult feat. I think you want to be on the giving end the second time of that. So that's the reality there. So here's my feel. They have the ingredients to get it done. Can they get it done? And it has to take consistency, right? There's a couple of things that have to be happening in their favor for this to be the reality. First and foremost, we already talked about it, but the offense has to keep cooking. They have one of the best offenses in the country. If they can make it a track meet every single week, if that can kind of just be their MO, they're going to be in good shape. They don't play a team, quite frankly, the rest of the way that can score with them. But if the offense kind of takes the foot off the pedal just a little bit, or maybe they're not scoring 48, which is a tall order given, but let's just say they have an off day as an offense, well, then that allows the other program to get back into the game. Your strength of your program is the offense. Front seven's good. If you can just run away from everybody on the scoreboard, I think you'd like to live that way, quite frankly. This is probably the most important piece for me. The front seven's already really good. One of the best run defenses in the country. Allowing 2.8 yards a carry, allowing under 100 yards of rushing a game. Secondary's got to get better. Secondary right now for this Tennessee football team is the Achilles heel, and they know that. You beautiful people in Knoxville watching this show right now, you know that as well. There will be a time where the secondary, whether it's early in this Alabama game, whether it's late in the Georgia game, heck, it might be against Will Levis and company at Kentucky when they come to Knoxville. There will be a time where the secondary has to make some plays to win some football games for you. If they can progress, they can just get better than they are right now. Right now, they are not very good. They'll get tested this coming Saturday. If they can just progress a little bit more throughout the season and steadily get better, they're going to have a chance. Timing is everything. Situations is everything. But right now for Tennessee, you got the quarterback. He didn't come back to go to play in the Capital One Bowl. He came back to go to Atlanta. Josh Heupel said as much. It's on the table for you. Can you do it? We think they win this Saturday. We'll definitely talk about it again on Sunday, but Vols got a chance. We just charted the course. Can the Vols get it done? We think so. A couple of things need to happen. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.